actually complying with, working with, the other thing I might add is, they also tried to blame Marcy.
Yes.
Marcy's a personality issue and she's a problem. But Marcy worked with Brenda, and for over 20 years, there were never any issues. And the other thing that we also, when you go through the history of it, they ran off Brenda, they ran off whoever was driving them into town, Natalie. They ran off Cheryl, who was the cook for several years.
They ran off another driver as well.
And so they've had a turnover in employees in
And volunteers.
and they also, I talked with Mike McCarthy and John, or is it John?
John.
And he told me his family, he wanted to give his kids, he would take them up there
Oh, yeah.
to set up and help with the events, and she ran them off, said that their help is no longer required and they can't be in there. And so, I don't know what to say, you know, what that board does with Tracy is their business, but they need to understand that they have got to take care of the seniors and they have to, the other thing too is Area 2 is not obligated to give them a grant.
No.
So rather than work with Area 2 agency, which no longer, they made Marcy abstain from involvement. Rather than work with them, they chose to argue with them. Specifically over, they shouldn't have to pay for an audit. They have somebody looking at their books, they say they're fine, although they're not independent. So, we just felt like we can't work with them.
So do you, as a new board, are we gonna meet with Tracy? Do we have any?
Now, you have the ability to either work with her or get rid of her.
Okay,
She works for the board,
okay.
but we were trying to get the board to say, look, she's made these decisions about rations, about quality, about, you know, trips. She's made all these decisions that have degraded the mission of improving the lives of the seniors.
Yeah,
You as a board have to tell her you don't want her to do it.
yeah, and I think, I mean, Betty and I have worked a lot together, and I think that, we understand what needs, a lot of what needs to be
Yeah.
done, and so I was just making sure that we had the authority to talk with her and.
Well, they were afraid that first of all, this new board, she doesn't work for you.
Okay.
You can hire whatever director you want, or you guys can manage it. You're not obligated to any of the past employees. In fact, initially, you're probably gonna have to find people, you know, and we'll work with you with all of that. We have to work through bylaws, we have to work through all of those issues, but at least now, you know, we have oversight responsibility, you know, and authority, so it's fine for us to work with you but the idea, our biggest concern was what was going on with the quality of services to the seniors.
And I think, I mean, I would like to approach it in a somewhat positive manner in that no one ever told Tracy what was expected of her.
Well,
She kind of went in there blind because Brenda had been so competent. No
well,
one.
I'll tell you what they ran into though, just not to cut you off, but I
Yeah.
appreciate what you're saying, which is why we said, we're not telling you to get rid of Tracy,
Yeah,
we're telling you need to manage her.
yeah,
But Tracy was in the room too, you know. Tracy knows what she's doing, but in one of their executive sessions, they were afraid to get rid of Tracy because they thought she was gonna sue for wrongful
yeah,
termination.
yeah.
So, you know, that's something the board will have to weigh, you know, but you're starting fresh, you're starting completely.
And I think, and that's what I'm saying, is I think that the starting point is telling Tracy what our expectations
Yeah.
are and what,
A job description.
yeah, because she,
I don't think she ever got one.
yeah,
Well, and she also was underneath the delusion that she didn't answer to the board answered to her.
oh, yeah, which is just totally
That's a non-starter
backwards.
from the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
So when you say that, you know, you wanna have a graceful attitude about this, I don't know whether that's gonna work.
Well, I think, but I think we give her a chance to do it, because she never had that. She never had a board that said, here are our
Here's-
expectations of you, here's how we're gonna measure it, here's what needs to be done.
Okay,
And she had I mean, I sat in those board meetings and they were chatting about the weather, and nobody ever expressed any expectations. And
Right.
so she just kind of flew with it. And I think that in fairness, at least we have to try to work with her on what our expectations are, and then we can judge her on whether or not she's done it or not, rather than you just went and did what you wanted.
well,
If I may-
there may be some real, go ahead.
To take a note from a former employer with the education system, you could put her on an improvement plan, basically, where it's everything you just said, but you literally write it all out, and you
I
each
like
sign.
this person, she's good.
You can write it out and everybody sign it, but what that helps is give you a metric. She has a guideline,
Yeah,
and for some of these things that may seem fairly nebulous, like say one of your metrics is act with integrity, or grace, or get along with people, you can
unlock
make
your
goals.
office.
But you can make
unlock it, what the heck?
You can write things like that,
Yeah.
like, hey, to meet this, we expect you to do this, and give her concrete goals to follow. And then also, if she doesn't rise to the challenge, you have a document to terminate her with.
I think Betty and this other woman that I haven't met, and I would love to meet with you a little more on this, and
The other key element here that came up was, if you were to hire her, she would be starting fresh. She would be under probation. There would be a probationary period, and you can terminate employment without cause.
Yeah.
under the So you just don't want that to expire if you're not
Yeah.
happy with your performance. And what happened in the past is that expired,
yeah.
because they really were afraid of being sued.
Well, and she's a very strong, scary personality.
Oh, yeah.
As I've seen her attack one of you at a meeting, you know, and I think that
That was you.
You are also a strong personality,
Well, yeah.
so I think you can handle her.
well, we'll see. I will, Betty too. I
Yeah,
mean,
Betty's strong.
So I
Formidable.
I guess all I'm saying is that working with you, I would like to give her a chance to fulfill our expectations.
Well, that's a good plan.
And
Well,
if
that
she can-
that might also buy a lot of goodwill with the other seniors, because she seems to have a following.
Yeah,
And maybe it's the fair thing to do, but I would keep in mind what you said, and I'd keep in mind the probationary period.
yeah, no, I think
And
that's.
I'd give her a chance, and
Yeah.
then same with the other employees if need be, but, also there's the issue of the building. We don't have access to that building as long as they keep paying rent till February, right? Or you were
Well,
gonna,
actually, January, I looked it up.
okay, excellent. Well, that'll be here before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, once we meet as a group, we'll get together with you, and I,
June 31st, 2026,
Okay?
June 31st?
end of the fiscal year.
Yeah, that's not January.
so how am I supposed to handle the ex-board members? What do you
You don't have to
anticipate?
do anything with them. You're a separate board. You have
Yeah,
no,
you're
you
not.
have no contractual relationship with them whatsoever.
Okay,
Your new board is gonna apply for a grant with the state in Area 2.
And Area Two is gonna decide who they're gonna give the money to, and Area
Okay.
Two already has had difficulty working with the Muscle Council of Aging.
yeah, okay,
And also, that's the other thing too, that part of our concern about the functionality of the board is there used to be no issues.
yeah,
And now there's issues, and rather than try and work them out, from our observations, they just would rather say, no, you don't have the right to expect us to do that. They argued rather than try and come
Yeah.
up with solutions. And, obviously, we want we want this new board to have a good working relationship with Area Two, because that's where the money comes from. But if Area Two has demands that are, you know, not consistent with what the mission, you know, yeah, you guys gotta stand up for it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about working with Area Two. I mean, I've had experience in grant-funded programs.
Well, that's the whole point, is people think, you know, These
We're
trains
the
are
one, they
big.
think that the county is supplying all the funding, and
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah,
the case at all.
yeah. And
we're just providing match money, but in rough numbers, doesn't Area Two give them about 90 grand, and we give them about 15 grand?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was 85 or something like
But what's this $4,000 that we give for administration? Quantity. But,
Yeah, that's a good point, well, I remember that.
cause we did give Area Two our money, but it's going towards supporting the back porch, homes on the range, the transportation. It's going to keep the services.
He's trying to get Millstone up and running again too.
Yeah, and that's gonna be an interesting one. And that actually might cost us some more money. But, you know, the other thing with this board would be to assess financially what you need.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'd like to see your budget.
Yeah, it's like, okay, and, because honestly, one of the most important investments we think the commission has is in the seniors.
Mm-hmm,
But for some reason, we're being painted
Yeah.
as against the seniors.
Mike, should I share my refrigerator magnet?
Yes, you should. That was a great idea.
I have an idea that can hopefully maybe move us into a more positive light, and it would be advantageous to you guys as the commissioners as well. My daughter's a paramedic in Connecticut, and they have a program in Connecticut called the Life File. It's a red envelope that is magnetic and fits on your refrigerator, and it has all the medical information of anyone in the family. So you have a fire, you have an ambulance call, you have a bag fall. The first thing that the responders do is they go to the refrigerator and pull that red file of life. It has allergies, surgeries, your religion, do you have a DNR, your doctor, it has all this information in it, so that they don't have to sit in the ambulance with someone who is unconscious and say, I wonder if they have any allergies. And it's not expensive, it's an affordable, and I was just thinking that to kind of shift the energy from the chaos that's there, that this would be a great program for the county and for the commissioners to pay for the envelopes, and it's not very expensive. And it just would put a positive, it would be doing something positive in a pretty negative space.
That's an excellent suggestion.
Yes, it is.
And, well, I'll bring them in and show it to you. I mean, it has your religious preference, who to call in an emergency. I mean, it has all this information, and they just automatically go in and look for that red envelope on the refrigerator. And
Well, that's really great. I love your attitude, wanting to bring a positive and your openness. I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be really, really good.
well, I hope so, because I spent a lot of time working in
Well, and it's important.
that area, and anyway, thank you very much, and I will follow up on that a little bit more.
We just wish Reed had a better attitude.
Yeah. Read, yeah.
I like your costume.
I gotta use first one.
You're dressed up as a homeless.
Costume for what?
Never mind.
Oh.
But, yeah, hopefully we can make this work out.
Yeah, well, it will, one way or another.
But, like I said, we're having an interview with Q2, so we'll find out. I thought about calling to see if they really wanna come on Halloween night. I didn't think of that one, I was making
Oh, that's what you're talking about, it's Halloween.
Really?
I guess, yeah.
You what?
I was saying, that's what he's talking about with the costume, it's Halloween.
You
Yeah.
didn't,
You didn't connect it?
No,
didn't connect it.
the
No,
days are so busy, the
Right.
days just run into.
So we have a pumpkin, a grape, and a raspberry
Raspberry.
sitting here. Those are our Halloween.
And she's got a skeleton.
Oh yeah, the skeleton.
We're all set.
Don't mess with the county attorney.
No.
Beware.
So did you go to the fair board meeting?
So when Betty gets back, can we meet with you guys?
Yes.
And I'd like to meet the Millstone,
Yep.
get her involved.
Yeah, we'll get rolling.
Okay,
Right away, as soon as we can.
yeah, no, I think she's on her way home. Last Facebook post, she was at the Kentucky Derby or something.
Oh, wow. That's important.
She'll get home.
So what about area two also? Should somebody be in with them too?
Oh, yeah, we want to meet with them.
Yeah. And I have a great relationship with Marcy. We visit a lot, so,
Okay.
Okay, that's extremely important.
yeah. Yeah, no, Marcy and I get along just fine.
Yeah.
And I think she's gonna be really relieved to be able to move off of,
I would hope.
God, I hope so. This has been really stressful for her.
Oh, yeah.
Very stressful.
No, they won't communicate with her at all.
Yeah.
She stepped out and on the board that I mean, they're holding on to contact them. She just stayed away.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we're cleaning cabs, so I'm gonna
oh, yeah.
step out.
Well, really appreciate the discussion,
Oh,
very
thank you.
productive.
I think,
And we needed to have that before our 3 o'clock, so that was good.
I think that, I'm confident that we'll get this resolved.
That's good.
That's good to
Glad
hear.
somebody is.
Feel free to stop in my office at any time if I'm
Thank
not
you, thank you.
available.
I'm just tickled you're here. I think that's great, thank you. Good to see you, Norma. Bye, Dana.
You guys stirring up trouble again, or?
Yep,
Yeah. I figured.
Go ahead.
You're a part of it. Well, I guess.
it's part of the trouble part,
Yeah, I know.
not the solution.
I guess I can start with the fair board meeting. I stressed again that they need to be getting an agenda to Bonadee so she can post it for public comment a week before. And then the keeping of the minutes so that they make, and you can, sorry, I've forgotten. Holly, you can correct me if I'm wrong, cause I talked to Ben about this before he left, but they need to have minutes and the public commented agenda.
Yes.
You do.
Otherwise, they're not a county board and there's some liability issues and things like that, so.
Absolutely, yes.
I stressed that to them again, and they.
How well was that received?
Oh, it went great. And I told Ben I told them some of the horror stories that Ben told me that have happened in the past. Not here, but across the state.
Yeah.
And so I think they're gonna start doing it. So the tree deal, they're gonna have another meeting on the 11th, fair board meeting on the 11th to officially vote with public comment on the approval for doing the trees down there.
Very good, very
So
good.
they did all agree to it at the last meeting, but they didn't have the agenda out beforehand, so.
We got like a figure from around 16 grand or
Yeah,
something,
yeah, and it's still-
and we told that that's something the county would help, would
Yeah.
actually would support, and we would use the ARPA money for
Yep.
that.
And that's what they discussed, so, that's where they're at with that. They did that next meeting, on the 11th, because I kind of said, hey, like, you need to have an agenda and all that. So they're like, all right, well, we'll get an agenda done a week before the 11th, meet on the 11th, and then go from there. And they were some belly aching about it, but I told them once they started doing it and got a template and everything, it's not that bad. I mean,
I'm surprised they didn't put it on your board.
no, No, I told him. I was like, I ain't doing that. This is why.
They'll say, well, yeah, we can do that, when can you give us our agenda?
You should. I'm surprised they didn't quit.
Well, and then Amy Kelly come out yesterday.
Who's Amy Kelly?
She's the regional 4-H specialist for the central region. She started not too long ago. She's based out of Lewistown, so she works for the 4-H center. She come out and we went around the office and went to the fairgrounds and just, she's kind of doing a little just to get familiar with everybody she's helping. She's pretty great. She was an extension agent for a long time in Colorado, New Mexico, and then she managed I think it was the Colorado State Fair for a long time.
Really?
And we're gonna start working together on doing a volunteer kind of training deal this winter sometime in Roundup for just all our 4-H volunteers.
Would that be very helpful for this little fair that we have?
Yeah. And she'll be good. She's very responsive and knows how stuff goes. I mean, a lot of experience with putting events on and everything. So, and she's just up in Lewistown, so that's nice. But we're just gonna start with working together on. She's gonna help me put together, and she's gonna come down and teach at a volunteer deal for our 4-H volunteers. Just giving them some ideas for programs and a little refresher on how the administrative work in the clubs should go and things like that. So that'll be good. I'm getting a list from a few different people around the community what I have for trying to do that winter series I've been talking about. I talked to Brenda about it at the FSA office. She's checking with her boss on when it's just kind of hard right now because of the shutdown and all that. But she's checking with her boss if she is able to tell me the names and contact information of some people she thinks would be interested in that. Just meeting up, getting together. The first meeting will probably just be kind of a get together. I'll do a survey and a sign-in sheet, and then I'll survey about what they want and the direction that everybody wants to kind of take, or if they want to have a specific topic for next meeting, I'll get a specialist in on that going for next meeting. Just kind of an initial get together, see who shows up type deal. Brenda's getting me some names. Tracy Green said she had some people in mind from the bank, that the bank knows, producers and whatnot, that'd be interested in coming. And I have talked to a number of different people about it, and yeah, I mean, we'll see what it turns into. I mean, it could just turn into like a stock growers tractor or something like that, a restart of that in this area, but just something for people to get together that are interested in doing it. So, based around agriculture and production. Those are the two main things that are going on right now. And hopefully I'll get those names by the time I get back and try to have a meeting late November. I think people shouldn't be too busy, for the most part. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited to do that volunteer training. We just have a couple new organizational leaders for our clubs that, and they have to go through a module when they sign up to be an organizational leader. But it's not exactly comprehensive, so I think bringing some extra stuff in and just kind of going over stuff with them towards the beginning of the year will really help. And I've been trying to talk to all our volunteer leaders about different ideas for club meetings, because I think that's where our 4-H program is struggling a lot, is the throughout the year stuff, and the club meetings, just not a lot happening. So I just was bringing up some ideas with them. I'm like, hey, if you could, it's never going to be applicable for everybody, and you got to find something to do with the clover buds, but you're supposed to kind of have a clover bud leader that takes them and does something with them anyway. But I was like, for your club meetings, think about doing stuff like, this fall, if somebody's preconditioning calves, then them, just see if they'll let you come out and let the kids watch. They don't necessarily have to, keep them out of the way, but let them see what's going on, and I'm sure there's plenty of producers around here that would be more than happy to, you know, if they're giving shots, they'll tell them what the shots are for, why they're doing it, you know, how it affects animal health, how it affects the bottom dog. But I'm like, you know, leverage those producers, and same throughout the year. Just think about what's going on that time of year, and then go and space your meetings around that. I mean, have your 15-minute meeting that has meeting club stuff you need to do, but then have the rest of it be something like that. And I mean, carpool there. You can figure out how to get the kids there, but make it so they're doing something. And I think they'll be a lot more interested, especially the older kids, because they don't want to just come and they're like, well, why? We require 3 meetings, and we have a lot of people that go to those 3 meetings, and that's about it. And I think it's kind of half and half of like, half of them, they're not going to go even if you do more interesting things to any more than that. But I think the other half are willing to go more if there's something going on. So, and I just told them, I was like, you know, this spring, if there's a producer that's shearing sheep, go out and watch them shear sheep for a while, you know. That's just stuff like that. And the planting, or, you know, somebody's cutting silage next fall, or, you know, whatever it is, you can think about. There's stuff going on all times a year around here, and it's not hard to reach out to those people. And I think there's enough producers, and it doesn't have to be egg stuff either, but I think it would be mostly egg stuff, or even go out to the mine on a good day for it, but and see how that all works, and things like that. You can use your local stuff, and then maybe go from there if you want to do more regional and get a little farther away. But there's stuff within 30 minutes of here that you can go do that's more interesting than just go to a club meeting. So I've been trying to push that. I can't do all that, but I can push the leaders to try to at least think about it. And even, like I said, I mean, think about how many kids would be interested in just, you know, during calving season, somebody's in March, say, or you know, April, they go out, somebody's calving, and just see the calves, and they explain to especially some of the older kids, you know, how this stuff works, what their process is, things like that. You know, maybe they've got some pairs in stalls, they can go look at them. Okay, well, why is she in a stall? How to pull her calf, you know, all this stuff.
There also might be a kind of a unintended positive networking
Yeah.
thing go on, that you never know, that, you know, so maybe down the line, say, you know, I remember you came out and
Yeah.
looked, you know, who knows? It's gotta be a good thing, but you're gonna have to have the, you know, the ranchers and the farmers willing.
Oh, I think there is enough of them willing if you just call them and say,
Like Walt, you know,
Oh, absolutely not.
well, no, he
it's
might.
liability.
But I think there is
As
more
long as they
than.
drive his tractor, you can let them do that.
Yeah.
He'll put them to work.
Yeah. Well, I was even thinking, you know, I think there's more than enough people willing. If the leader called them and said, hey, you know, I've got this club, I was wondering if you have something going on this time of year.
Oh, I know, you've got
You
those
get a
people
ton.
who would get involved.
Oh yeah.
They'd say, hey, come on out.
Yeah, and they don't have to. I mean, it's not a big thing on them.
Mm-mm.
You know, and there's a ton of them that would enjoy it. I mean, I know tons of producers that they would be just tickled pink to have those kids go out there and see what they're doing,
It's an excellent idea.
and so I've been pushing that. I can only push it, but I understand it is more work for the leaders and the parents, but it shouldn't be that much more. I'm not, you know, I'm not expecting them to go more than, you know, maybe a 20-30 minute drive out of town.
What it is, though, it's an investment, which I hope that it's gonna require inspiration.
Right.
Rather than say, well, I can go sit in this meeting and I can go home. But now I gotta run out here, but if you could kinda let that catch on, that, you know, that was really interesting. you know.
Right. Well, and they do their November Thanksgiving deal meeting, most of them, and then they do their December Christmas walk deal. So that's November and December pretty much covered, which is good because there's not a ton necessarily going on. And then January and February, if it's too cold, you can still have an inside meeting. But those nice months, you know, March, April, May, June, July, all through, you know, July you'd be doing fair. But then August, September, October, there's tons of stuff going on you could go and see that I think the kids would be interested in, even if they're not necessarily super interested in ag. I think going out and actually doing something and seeing something that's
Yeah.
actually being done instead of just talking about it,
Go to the sawmill.
and go to this. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't have to be
There's all-
ag stuff.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff you could do, and I think